how to create a ceramic dot effect like this in Photoshop, PC or Mac. What you can do, just go over here, ellipse tool. Now I'm using materials in this video, and you could of course use any number of materials. Now I've just created a shape. That's just using the ellipse tool, hold down the shift to create a circle, and I'm also using shape option up here. Well, with this, what you can do, you should be able to go up to select and load selection. Unfortunately not available, but you can always right click and you can go to make selection. So select that. With that, you can go here and click OK, and you've got a selection around it, which is useful when you're going to be creating a material effect. So go over here to materials, and you can find all these panels in window. So materials there, layers, etc. and materials. Just go down here to circles and just click. And the reason I've gone for this selection around the shape is if I didn't, all the rest of the image will be filled with this design. Well, now you've got it, what you can also do is you've got this parametric properties, bit of a mouthful, but what you got with this, you can set to a preset. There's large, shiny, small, but also you can go here and you can change the spot intensity. So just change that, just a very subtle change, but also you can go for roughness, you can increase that, change the gap, you might want to reduce that down. Again, very subtle. Also, loads of other settings available as well. This is a good one, pattern amount. So let's just push that up to 4. That's the maximum there. And you can see you get these very tiny dots. Well, once you've got that, you can go here to rotation, height. You can modify a number of the lighting effects. And you can just change like that. You might want to just keep it as the default, something like that. But you can change colour. So click there, and maybe go say for red. Click OK. And now you see you get this lovely red dot design. Or just keep it as before, as white. Click OK. Well, also very useful, you can go down here, you can modify the scale, so you can just increase that, which pushes it back up again, or maybe go for say 0.49 and create all kinds of very unusual images that way. But I'm just going to keep it say like 0.63. And you've got a number of options here. You can modify hue shift, so you can just change that, which will again change things. You can see it's now slightly bluer there. And also you can modify intensity and saturation. Well, there's lots of things you can create with this. But what you have also got is if you go to layers. So in layers, you can see you've got this. Weirdly, it's created separately. So you've got a separate layer. Well, if you want to, and you can combine those and simply select both those. And then go to layer. And you go down here to smart objects and convert to smart object. You don't have to do that way. You could group them, all those sorts of things, so you can move them all together. But I just like to put it into a smart object. And you can always modify the smart object at any point. So with this design, you can then reposition it. Obviously, hold down the Alt or Option key and duplicate the design. So create multiple copies, maybe resize things. But also with this thing, you can actually change it as well. So you don't have to keep this design. You can always at any point go over here and double click. With that, you can now modify this. You've got the parametric filters back again. So double click and you've got the parameters here. And again, you can randomize if there's any random element in this. But you can also change any of the other settings. But also what you can do is you can apply effects to it. So you might like this effect, perfectly regular design, but you can always apply filter effects to it, smart filter effects. So filter, and then just go down here, distort, maybe wave. And you can see the wave effect there. I'm just going to put it to 1, change that, change amplitude, and so on. And you can see, let's just go with wrap around. So you've got that, and click OK, and you can see the result of that. Or maybe twirl. So filter, and then go down here, distort, and twirl. And you can see the effect applied there, and click OK. And you've got that sort of design, very unusual design, just from that material. And again, you can modify the material, maybe use some of the other materials. But also with layers, you've still got this design here, and you can close this. You notice a PSB file. That's the smart object format. So close that and save. Well, you're back here again. Now you've got this design. You can, of course, modify it. You can also add layer effects to it. So just go down here to effects. So click there. Maybe add a drop shadow. And then click OK, or maybe a bevel and emboss. So click there and maybe apply different depths, different size, soften, maybe change the angle, etc. Click OK. So with this design, you could, if you want, bundle it all into another smart object. That's probably going to be extreme. But what you can also do, hold down the Alt Option key and just duplicate this design. And you can see then, as you do that, you create a design like that. A very intense design, or maybe use it as a pattern design. So you could just remove those. So let's just remove all those. With this design, simply move this background. So let's just quickly deselect it there. Don't have to delete it. Also just go up to this one, just move it up so you don't get an error with the edge there. So rectangular marquee tool and just select this area. So this design can be saved as a pattern. So edit and then define pattern. Obviously, if you've got a document that's very large, if it's like 5,000-6,000 by set, you will not be able to do this. This will just not be available. But if it's a fairly small document, define pattern. Save it like that. You've got that design. Or maybe just select part of that. You might decide, you know what, that's the most interesting part of that design. So as long as that's selected there, again, edit and define pattern. So you can see now you've got this design and so on. With that, you can then bring this one back, maybe just remove that for now, edit, and then you can fill. Let's just make certain you select the layer, edit and fill. Go to pattern, and then just select that pattern you just created. And there's one there, or the one that was a square one. So that one I'm going to go with, and symmetry fill. Any of the scripts or not. And click OK, and you can see it applied like that. Edit, and again, fill. Let's just try a different one. Script, symmetry fill. Sometimes it doesn't always do it, so click OK, and you get something like that. For some weird reason, this fill dialog does seem to just ignore the check mark sometime. And you can set the scale, brightness. I've got maximum randomness for the colour, and you can change these settings to create all kinds of different designs. And I'm using 8, but you could use like 7. 7's a great one. And then click OK to create something very quickly like that. Hope you found this of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. A like or dislike, always appreciated. Bye.